Welcome all of you for this session. Today we will look at the mathematics portions. Last week we had looked at the mental ability area, and this particular area is mathematics. This is generally it is called SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test. That is primarily from the books. Okay, that is the idea. But these names are varies from exam to exam. So don't bother about these names. We look at again. Here again, there are about 10 or 15 chapters are there. We'll try to complete as many as possible today. I think the speed at which we went in math is good, but then same speed we may or may not be able to go in mathematics because little bit of understanding is required. And generally, math is a little confusing one subject. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, with this introduction, let me show you my PPT. If you have anything to say, any questions, you can ask me now, and then another 1 minute, then we will go into that. So are you able to see the screen, PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this is aptitude training for Savida School of Management PPT 2. So we look at the math chapters. I have indicated something like about some 15 chapters. We'll try and see one by one. We will look at and all these chapters you have studied in your school from 7th or 6th onwards up to 10th. It's nothing new. Only thing is the way they ask questions will be different. That is the only difference you can see. Let's go to a chapter called Time and Work. All of us have seen questions on this particular area, time and work. Is it okay? Font size, should I increase? Now I think it would be better. So here, I am straight away going to the question. Before going to the question, let us see. Let us see what all we know about time and work as of now. If a man does a work in 10 days, how much of work he will do in 5 days? It will be half the work. Am I correct? If he takes to complete the entire work in 10 days, to do the half the work, he will take 5 days. Or in 5 days, he will do the 50% of the work. In 2.5 days, he will complete 1/4 of the work. This is the fundamental which you need to keep in mind. So in 1 day, he will complete 1/10th of the work. In 1 day, if he, for example, if he takes 40 days to complete a work, then he will do 1/40th of the total work in 1 day. That is the meaning of it. So in X days, he will complete 1/40th into X, that much of work. If he takes 10 days to complete the work, it will be 1/10 into X. That will be that much part of the whole work he will complete in X days. Right? So this fundamental you have to, whenever you see this problem, you have to convert that into how much of work he will do in 1 day. And then from there you start your calculations and other things. This is a shortcut you should keep in mind. Say for example, question number 1. A and B completes a work in 10 and 15 days respectively. In how many days both working together shall complete the work? Normally the tendency of the students is to take the average of 10 and 15 and put it at 12.5 days, sir. Like that, this is the way we do. We are tempted to do like that, but that is not the right way. You have to find out how much of work is done by A in 1 day. He will do 1/10th of the whole work in 1 day. B will do 1/15th of the work in 1 day. So A and B put together will do 1/10 plus 1/15. That comes to 1/6th of the work. If you do the calculation, take the LCM and other things, it comes to 1/6th of the work. So in 1 day, if both put together if they do 1 by 6th of the work, then we can say that they will complete the entire work in 6 days. Am I with you? Are you with me? Hello? Students, are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is not the average of 10 and 15. I have seen at least 90% of the kids will do 10 and 15, take the average and put it 12.5, and they will come out of the exam hall saying that it's correct, but then it will be wrong. You have to convert that into how much of work they do in one day, and then you calculate how much of the work they do in one day both put together. From there again you come back to reverse. That is how much time it will take to complete the work. Okay, so let's say next question. A and B complete the work in 8 and 15 days respectively. That is, A does the work in 8 days, B does the work in 15 days. So how much time they will take to complete the whole work put together A and B. So A will complete 1 by 8th of the work in one day, B will complete 1 by 15th of the work in one day. So both put together, they will complete 23 by 120 part of the work in one day. In how many days they will complete? Just put the ulta, reverse it, 120 by 3. That is 5 by 23 days they will complete. They will take to complete the entire work, both put together, A and B together. So this is how you should do it. Otherwise, this is the only formula or only concept which you should keep in mind. You have to convert the whole thing for how much work they do in one day, and then you start off. Let's go to one or two more questions on that. A can do a work in 10 days and B can complete the same in 15 days. How long will they take together to complete 2.5 times that of the original work? That is the question asked. So now you can answer this question on your own. A can do a work in 10 days, B can complete the same in 15 days. How long will they take together to complete 2.5 times that of the original work? So can you do that in your paper? A will do in one day 1 by 10 of the work. B will do in one day 1 by 15th of the work. So now find out both put together how much work they do in one day. How much it comes? How much of work they do in one day, both together? 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15. Find out how much it comes. You can give your answers. Hello? Are you able to do the work or are you finding it difficult? Hello, are you able to hear me? Is there any network problem?
Yes, sir. 1 by 6, sir.
1 by 6. So both together they are able to complete the work 1 by 6th of the work in one day. So how much time they will take to do the entire work? Ulta, in reverse that, 6 days. So to do one work they take 6 days. To do 2.5 times of that of the work, how much the time they will take? So 6 into 2.5, that is equal to 15 days they will take. Right? Is it okay? Is it correct? Is the answer correct? 15 is correct? Are you getting that? Okay, I think you must have got it. Go to the next one. If 20 men, or can anybody read this? Yes, gentlemen who has answered this 6, can you read the second question? Fourth question, rather.
Yes, sir. If 20 men take 15 days to complete a work, in how many days one man will complete the same work?
Yes. Okay. If 20 men take 15 days to complete the work, how many days one man will complete the same work? In how many days one man will complete the same work? How do we do it? So 20 men, 15 days. So you multiply both. So one man will take 300 days to complete the work, isn't it? One man will take, 20 men takes 15 days means one man will take 300 days. Finished. Now the next part of the question is, in how many days 25 men complete the work? One man will complete 1 by 300th work in one day. Then 25 men will complete 25 into 1 by 300. That is 1 by 12 in one day. If you put ulta, that is they will take 12 days to complete the work. Okay, this is how you should do the problems. Okay, can we go to next? Are you with me? Are you okay? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go to next. Yeah. Next chapter is, so we have done one chapter. Almost we have got 1 mark in our pocket. Normally in any of these aptitude training, they will have one question in time and work. So assuming there is one question, then you have pocketed 1 mark. We have understood the concept of that particular chapter. Go to next, time and distance. Here, a bus travels a particular distance in a particular time. So how much, what is the speed? Like that they will ask. Bus or train or whatever. So here there are only 3 parameters are there. One is the distance, speed and time. Speed is equal to distance by time. It's a very simple formula which we studied some long years back. Distance is equal to speed into time, and time is equal to distance divided by time. So these are basic formulas. Now the speed will be given sometimes in kilometer per hour. A train travels 48 kilometer per hour, like that they will give. Or sometimes they may give meter per second. So in case they have given it in kilometer per hour, and if you want to convert that into meter per second for some calculation purpose, then you have to multiply whatever is given by 5 by 18. Suppose a train travels at 48 kilometer per hour. Then if you convert into meter per second, you multiply by 5 by 18. So how much it comes? 48 into 5 by 8. 5 by 18, sorry. So how many meters per second, that one? 48 kilometer per hour.
13.
Is it 13?
13
Just,
point.
no, just check. Did I make a mistake? 1 minute. Yeah, 13 point something. Yeah, 13 point. Okay. I made a mistake here. So it is 13 point something like that. So, so this much, similarly, if meter per second is given, if you want to convert that into kilometer per hour, you have to multiply by 18 by 5. Okay, that's it. A man travels at a speed of 9 kilometer per hour. What is his speed in meter per second? So 9 into 5 by 18, that is equal to 2.5 meters per second. That is the answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. How long a train of 150 meters long and traveling at a speed of 45 km per hour take to cross a platform of length 250 meters. So the length of the train is 150 meters and length of the platform is 250 meters. The speed of the train is 45 km per hour. You have to find out how long it will take, how much minutes or seconds, like that you have to say. Now everything is the meter, the length is given in meter, but speed is given in kilometer per hour. So let us convert that kilometer per hour into meter per second. so that it will be easy for us to. So 45 into 5 by 18, how much you get?
12.5.
12.5 meter per second you are getting. Okay, that is per second it crosses 12.5 meters. That's the meaning. Now the train has to cross the platform means, so it has to cover the length of the train plus length of the platform. The total length it has to travel, distance it has to travel is 400 meters. So 400 meters is the distance. Speed is 12.5 meters. Now you have to find the time. So 400 divided by 12.5. So how much you are getting? So how many seconds you are getting? 400 is the distance and speed is 12.5 meter per second.
$32, sir.
32. So 32 seconds it takes to complete to cross that platform.
30.
32. Yes, 32. Correct. Okay. Let's go to next one. Walking at. Can you read? Somebody can read this question? Can you read?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Walking at 4 by 5th of his usual speed, a man reaches office 15 minutes late. Find his usual time.
Okay. Here the usual speed and usual time he takes to cover a distance d. So usual speed into usual time is equal to distance. But now he is walking only 4/5 of his usual speed and he reaches late by 15 minutes. So but the distance is same. So you have to find the usual time. Now let's go by the formula. D is equal to S into T. That is distance equal to speed into time. So that is the original usual speed, usual time equal to distance. Okay. The second case, D is same is equal to 4 by 5 into S, 4S by 5. Because 4/5 of his usual speed. Speed has come down. And time taken is more into T plus 15. So you have got two equations, D equal to ST and D equal to 4S by 5 into T plus 15. From this, you can find T. Can you do that? Let us see whether we can do this. So, D equal to 4S by 5 into T plus 15, and instead of D, I can substitute ST. So, ST is equal to 4ST by 5 plus 4S into 15 by 5. And you can find out from that, can you find T? Let's see, do on your own, because whatever I have written here, if you go through it, it will be very confusing. So you do on your own. So how much you are getting? T. Don't look at my calculation, it may be confusing, because that is the reason why maths is difficult, because explaining it is little tricky. So now you have got two equations, D equal to S into T, ST, and D equal to 4S by 5 into T plus 15. Now you have to find T. The answer I am getting is 60 minutes. Are you getting 60 minutes? Instead of D, you can substitute ST, and SS gets cancelled, and what is left is only T. Keep the T on one side and bring all the numbers on the other side. That will give you the answer. If you are through, we can go to the next question. But this is the typical question which they will give in your exam. This usual time and things like that. Many of the aptitude tests, they give such questions. You got it? The person who read the question, you got it?
So got a different answer.
What is the answer you got?
About 20, but I'm not sure if it is right, sir.
See, I'll do it in the PPT itself. See,
Yes, sir.
S equal to S, D equal to S into T, D equal to 4S by 5 into T plus 15. That much you are okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Instead of D, I am substituting ST because D equal to ST I have mentioned equal to the right hand side 4S by 5. That is 4. Okay. Right hand side is 4. No, for same thing. Whatever is there. 4S divided by 5 into T plus 15. Okay. Now both the side you can cancel x. So what happens is, t is equal to 4 by 5. 4 by 5. 4 divided by 5. Let me put the bracket here. 4 divided by 5 into t plus 15. Let me erase this answer. T plus 15. So now again, t equal to 4 by 5t, that is 4t by 5 plus 4t by 5 will again put out in the bracket plus 4 by 5 into 15. How much it comes? 4 by 5 into 15 is 12. Isn't it? 12. Bring all the t on the one side. That is t. And if you take that 4t by 5 on the other side, it becomes minus 4t divided by 5. Okay. So this is equal to 12. So t minus 4t by 5 is nothing but t by 5. Isn't it? LCM is 5 and 5t minus 4t on the numerator, that gives you t by 5. T by 5 is equal to 12. So t is equal to 60. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
There, minutes,
Yes, sir.
because they have given in minutes, we are also keeping in minutes, the answer has to be in minutes. Suppose the answer is given in hour. If they have given 1 hour, then 60 minutes equal to 1 hour. So that will be the right answer. Suppose instead of minutes and hours, they give in seconds also. 3600 seconds they would have given. So that will be the answer. So depending on the answer, you can convert that. Okay. Read the next question.
A man can swim downstream at 10 km per hour and upstream at 6 km per hour. Find the man's speed.
Okay. What we mean by downstream means along or downstream, along the river. So the resultant speed will be in a downstream, the resultant speed is equal to speed of man plus speed of river. Speed of the river. That is in downstream. Downstream means along the river. So let us say the speed of the man I am keeping it as m, and speed of the river I am keeping it as r. So m plus r is equal to what they say 10. They have given us 10. Next, upstream means speed of the river, speed of the man, and the speed of the river will be in the opposite direction. So it has to be, the speed of the man should be more than the speed of the river, then only you can go upstream. So m minus r, they have given that as m minus r, they have given that as 6. Yeah, m minus r equal to 6. From this you can find m plus r equal to 10, m minus r equal to 6. From this, how much m you are getting? So what is the speed of the man?
So 8, sir.
8, that's all. So this is the thing. So what you should understand here, downstream means he goes along the river. Upstream means he goes against the river. And the upstream, if he has to travel upstream, his man's speed should be more than the river speed. Then only he can go upstream. This also, these fundamentals you should keep in mind. Sometimes they may confuse you by giving river speed more than the man speed. Then they will ask you to find how much time it will take for the man to travel 2 kilometers upstream. They will give. Straight away you can say, no, you cannot travel upstream. It cannot be found, or it can be 0, whatever. Whatever answer, none of these, or whatever answer is there, you can put it. So a little bit of common sense we have to use, and because they would like to tinkle your understanding of the question. So that is it's very important. Okay. So now we have looked at time and work and time and distance. If you have any queries on these two, we can discuss. Let me see whether we have any questions. 1 minute. I think that test part will take later, I think, not now. Test part will take later. Okay. The next chapter is called Simple Interest and Compound Interest. Of course, MBA students, you are much familiar with this, particularly people who have experienced in accounting and things like that. So the ones which we have studied, but what they ask in your exam is at the level of 7th standard or 8th standard level only, or at the maximum 10th standard level. So simple interest. So here, what are the parameters we know? There is a principal, asal. In Tamil it is called asal. Then there is the interest, that is called vatti. And how many years you put in a deposit or give loan, that is number of years. And then the rate of interest, that is the interest that you will pay on the principal. So P, I, N and R, these are the parameters we have. And simple interest is equal to, I is equal to PNR by 100, P into N into R by 100. This formula we have studied in school. Okay, let us look at some problems and how to make use of this formula, right? Find the simple interest on a principal of 1000 at an interest rate of 6% per annum for a period of 18 months. So, can you find out that on your own? I equal to PNR by 100. This is the formula. They have given the P, they have given R, they have given N. How much you are getting?
$1,080, sir.
1080. Are you sure? Just check. $1,080 is the interest. That is, for 1,000 rupees principal, you will be paying 1,080 interest in 18 months. Not possible. இது வந்து மீட்டர் வட்டி என்னமோ வட்டி மாதிரி இருக்கு. பட் பேங்க்கில் they are charging only 6% interest. So it will not come that much. If it is more than 100%, then what you say is correct. Suppose you are paying an interest of 1,080 for a principal of 1,000, it means the interest rate is more than 100%. But they have given only 6%. PNR by 100, P is the principal in rupees, N is the number of years. அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Number of years. R is rate of interest. But in the question, they have not given the years, they have given the month. So that you have to convert that into years. Then apply in the formula, you will get it. So how much you are getting interest? I equal to PNR by 100. Convert the number of months into years.
$1.6, sir, 96, sir.
96? Is it 96? Just check. I am getting 90. I may be wrong also. Check whether I am getting 90.
1.6.
You are getting 96. Or what about others?
Sir, I think 18 months means 1 year, 6 months, no, sir?
Correct. So how many years? 18 months means how many years? 1.5 years.
Yes, sir.
1.5 years means what? 3 by 2 years.
Yeah,
You have to put 3 by 2 there.
yeah, 90, sir.
90. Are you getting, what about others? Your good name, sir? Whoever got 90 now, what's your name?
Raju, sir.
Raju, okay. So 90 is the answer. So like this, they will give a small catch. All the problem in your aptitude test, whatever be the company, whatever be the admission or whatever, there will be a small catch, and in that catch they will force you to make a mistake. One answer will be there, 1080 answer also will be there. So any person will get 1080 and then he will tick that and then come out, and it is wrong. So you have to be doubly careful, or you have to read the question twice, understand what is the catch involved in that, and then you start answering. Go to question number 2. If rupees 5,000 becomes 5,700 in a year's time, what is the rate of interest? Here they have given the principal. Year also they have given as 1 year, but it becomes 5,700. It means 700 rupees is the interest for that 1 year. I is given. You have to find R. So how much you are getting? In the formula PNR I, yeah,
14, sir.
14%. I equal to PNR by 100. They have given I, they have given P, they have given N. You have to find R. They have not directly given I. They said 5,000 becomes 5,700 means what? You are getting 5,000 is the capital and 700 is the interest. So you have to derive that interest and then you have to substitute. So these are some of the catches they may give in your exam. Okay. Compound interest. So far what we have seen is called simple interest. Then there is something called compound interest. So here the principal is 1,000, rate of interest 6%. No, I think this is not required. 6% interest, that's all. 6% interest. Okay, let it be. So you have to find the compound interest for 2 years. In 2 years, how much will be the compound? The difference between simple interest and compound interest is, suppose you are putting the money 1,000 rupees in the bank, and every end of the year you go and collect that interest. And then next year again go in the second year, again you will get the same amount of interest for the second year. But in the case of compound interest, you don't collect the interest. You will leave it there. So that they will add that interest into the principal. For the second year, the principal will be slightly higher because that original principal plus the first year interest. So like that it will keep on, and that is called compound interest. That is with this idea only bankers are now calculating once in 3 months an interest and put that interest in your account, and they calculate what is called an yield. You must have studied yield in your subject. Yield means they don't wait for the 1 year to calculate the interest. They do calculate the interest every 3 months, add that interest to the principal so that it is compounded 4 times in a year instead of one time. So you get more interest. That is how they calculate. So they call that as a yield. But in our problem, they may not ask all those stuff that difficult. They may ask what is the compound interest for 2 years or for 3 years, like that they may ask. Let's do one problem. Here the principal is 1,000, rate of interest is 6%. What is the compound interest for 2 years? First you calculate the simple interest for 1 year. PNR by 100, that gives 60 rupees. So interest for the second year you have to calculate. For interest of the second year, again you can use PNR by 100. The principal is not 1,000, it becomes 1,060 now.
1,060.
1,060 into 1 into 6 by 100. So in the second year you get an interest of 63.6. Right? So compound interest for 2 years will be 60 rupees for the first year 63.6 for the second year. So that is 123.6 rupees for the 2 years. If you take simple interest for 2 years, it is 60 plus 60, 120. That's all. So, but you are in compound interest, you are getting 3.6 rupees more. If it is a compound interest for 3 years, then you have to take the third year compound interest you have to calculate and put that second year interest, add that with the principal. Original principal was 1060 plus 63.6. So 1123.6 is the principal for the third year. Into 1 into 6 by 100, that gives an interest of 67.41. That is the compound interest for the third year. So if you take all the 3 years put together, how much is the compound interest? Then it is 60 plus 63.6 plus 67.41, 191.01. Whereas simple interest for all the 3 years put together is 180 rupees. That is 60 plus 60 plus 60. So this much more money you are getting if you don't withdraw your interest every year. There is a formula for this also. That is amount at the end of n years is equal to principal into 1 plus r by 100. R is the rate of interest. You can put capital R. R by 100 whole power n. If you calculate principal into 1 plus r by 100 whole power n, that gives the amount at the end of n years. That is including the principal they will give. For example, in this case, P is 1000, yes. 1 plus r by 100, r is 6. 1 plus r by 100 means it is 106 by 100. So if it is for 3 years, let us say CI for 3 years, then you have to put n equal to 3. That is 1000 into 106 by 100 into 106 by 100. Sorry, let's say 2 years. Here they have put 2 years. 2 years. Let us calculate for 2 years. So 2 times you have to put and then calculate. Again you are getting 1123.6. This is one way of doing it, using the formula. The other way of doing it, you calculate the simple interest, add that interest to the principal, calculate the simple interest for the second year, and then add those two interests that will give the compound interest. So you have two methods. Whichever method is convenient to you, whichever method you are comfortable, you can take one of those and do the problem. Are you with me now?
Yes, sir.
But normally the first method will be easier than the formula method as far as this particular chapter is concerned. This you keep in mind, because once you go, for example, if they want you to calculate CI for 3 years, CI for 3 years, then you have to do what? 1000 equal to 1000 into 106 divided by 100, again 106 divided by 100, again 106 divided by 100. So 3 times you have to put, and you have to calculate this. Calculating this will be a big nuisance sometimes. So you will get, at the end of the day you will get the result, but then it may take a lot of time, it will consume a lot of time. And once you engage in calculating in your exam, you may make a mistake. So it will be time consuming and you will make a mistake also. So these are things you should keep in mind. Okay, now we have seen questions on simple interest, compound interest, time and work, and time and distance. So are you with me? Is it okay? Can we continue?
Yes, sir.
If you have anything to say, you can tell me. No, let me see whether I can take some question papers. 1 minute, I will just check. Question paper I am trying to take. Let's see 1 or 2 questions and then we move on to the next chapter. Oh, it's not there. I think it's already there. Okay, I think this question we can take. A boat, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
A boat travels 20 kilometer upstream in 6 hours and 18 kilometer downstream in 4 hours. Find the speed of the boat. So a boat travels 20 kilometer upstream. Upstream means the boat speed and river speed you have to add. That is boat speed, let us say B, and river speed is R. R is equal to, this is the speed of the boat plus speed of the river. That is the speed is equal to, we don't know the speed, but they have given distance, they have given, and they have given the time taken. So 20 by 6 will be B plus R. Similarly, B minus R is equal to 18 divided by upstream. The first one is upstream, no? Upstream means then this is B minus R, sorry. Upstream means B minus R. Boat speed is more than river speed and it's going against this. And second one is downstream, that is plus. B plus R equal to 18 by 20 kilometer, boat travel 20 kilometer upstream in 6 hours, 18 kilometer downstream in 4 hours, so divided by 4. So, can you find from this how much is B? This is the two equations you have. You find from this what is the B. B minus R is equal to 20 by X. B plus R equal to 18 by 4. Find out what is the answer for B.
So 3.9.
3.9 is coming?
3.91.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Check. Okay. That's right. No problem. So that is how you should calculate. Okay. I think you are with me. Now simple intercom will take one problem. Time and work has come. Anyway, no problem. I think we will not waste our time here. Right. We'll straight away go to the other one. So we have seen 3 chapters: time and work, time and distance, simple interest, compound interest. Now we'll go to what's called percentages. The most important chapter in any aptitude exam is percentages. Before I go on to, okay, maybe we'll go with the slide itself, no problem. Let's say population of India is 130 crores. 130 crores can be written as 1300 million because 10 million makes 1 crore and 1 million makes 10 lakhs. So 130 crore means 13,000 lakhs. Isn't it? Am I correct? So population is 130 crores. 50% of population means what? How much it will be? Half of 130. That will be 65 crores. So when somebody says 50%, it is half of this. Then 25% of population. Okay, no, that is not given. Okay, out of the total population, Tamil Nadu's population is 9 crores. So what is the percentage of Tamil Nadu population, which is equivalent to how many percentage of the total Indian population? How do we calculate? 9 divided by 130 into 100. That is equivalent to 6.9%. And Coimbatore district population is 7% of TN population. Tamil Nadu population is 9 crore and Coimbatore district, let us say it is 7%, then it comes to 0.63 crores, that is 63 lakhs. And Coimbatore city population is 1/3 of the Coimbatore district population. 63 lakhs into 1/3 is 21 lakhs. So this is how you calculate the percentages. So that formula and all we will not go. We will go with the common sense. Let's say I will ask you one question. Suppose I keep you a test for 20 marks and somebody got 15 marks. They got 15 marks out of 20 marks. So what is the percentage they got? Out of 20 marks, they have got 50.
75.
So 75 is the percentage. So that's it. That is how you calculate the percentage. Okay. Let's go. This is the basic fundamental of percentages. With this, you can calculate very easily all other things. Right. So we have what is called an idli story. What is this idli story? Can anybody read this idli story from the screen?
Yes, sir. Alvin eats 4 idlis normally. One day his mother scolded him for mischief, so that the next day Alvin ate 3 idlis. Reduction is 1 idli.
Okay. What is the percentage reduction? He was eating 4 idlis regularly, and now it has come down by 1. So it's a yes.
25%.
It is 25%. How did we get it? New minus old into 100 divided by old. New minus old divided by old into 100. Here old is 4, new is 3. 3 minus 4 divided by old, that is 4 into 100. It comes to minus 25%. That minus refers to reduction, and that percentage is 25%. And the second day he took 3 idlis, and the father had come in the evening, and he had seen Alvin has taken only 3 idlis, and father was worried, and then he consoled him. And the third day again Alvin took 4 idlis. Third day Alvin took 4 idlis. So how many idlis increased? From second day, first day 4, second day 3, third day 4. From second day it has increased by 1 idli. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is the percentage increase? From 3 it has gone to 4. What is the percentage increase? Use that formula, new minus old divided by old into 100. Here the new is 4, old is 3, divided by old into 100. How much it comes? It comes to 33.3%. I'll tell you 98% of the students, they will write again 25%. And it is wrong. So that is why it is called a idli story. You have to remember this idli story. Originally, when it has come down from 4 to 3, the reduction was 25%. And when it went up from 3 to 4, the increase was 33%. Because the base, the denominator value was small. So that is how you should know. This you should remember in percentages. I am telling you 98% of the students, they go wrong. I am talking about school level. Maybe college level it may be, it may not be that bad. School level, I am plus 1, plus 2 level, 98% they go wrong on this. So you have to be very careful. Okay. Say for example, I think I will give you some business example to you. Mukesh Ambani's turnover is 1 lakh crore. And his turnover gone up by 10%. Means how much increase it has gone up? Absolute value. Mukesh Ambani's turnover is 1 lakh crore. His turnover is increased in 1 year by 10%. So how much is the increase in absolute value? Out of 1 lakh, 10% is how much? 10,000 crore. So it has gone up from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 10,000 crore. Then we can say Mukesh Ambani is grown by 10%. Whereas you take another businessman in Chennai, where his turnover is 100 crores. And if he has to grow by 10%, it has to go to 110 crore. That is, he has to make a more business of 10 crore more business. Then you can say this gentleman has grown by 10%. So a person in Chennai, let's say X, the X, if he has to grow by 10%, he has to increase his business by 10 crore. But if Dhirubhai Ambani has to grow by 10%, he has increased business by 10,000 crore, then only you he can be called, you can tell him that he has increased his business by 10%. What sir, here 10%, there 10%, but then here 10 crore, there 10,000 crores, because the base value is big there, so it has to be bigger there. Okay, this you should keep in mind. Anybody talks about Mukesh Ambani or any big fellow growing by some percentage, you can think of how much he has to grow to achieve that percentage. Much, 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 much bigger, isn't it? Or in other words, if you want to, suppose one of your friend is getting 20,000 rupees salary, another person is getting 1 lakh rupee salary. And the first fellow, the 20,000 rupees fellow, got an increment of 20%. It means next year it has gone to 24,000. Whereas the second fellow got an increase of only 5%. But his in salary gone from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 5,000. So here the second fellow gets 5,000 more, first fellow gets 4,000 more, but still the percentage increase is more with respect to the first person and less with respect to the second person. So this is, you have to understand, keep this in mind whenever you wanted to do any problem related to percentages. It's anybody can go wrong. This is such a slippery thing. Okay, go to next. 84% of, the problem is this, 84% of a particular total is 630. What is 90% equal to? A particular total is there, in that 84% is 630. What is 90% equal to? That is the question asked. We don't know the total how much, but 85% of the total is 630. So how much is 90%? Now from the 84%, you have to find what is 100%. So 630 divided by 84 into 100 gives 750. That is the 100%. From that you calculate 90%. 750 into 90 divided by 100, that gives 670. So like this you have to be very, very comfortable with percentages. Okay. Go to the second question. So the formula says percentage increase is equal to actual increase by original quantity into 100. Actual increase what? That is new minus old. That's what I said that. So if it is percentage decrease, then actual decrease divided by original quantity to 100. Okay, that's it. Go to this question. Can you read this question? Question 2. Yeah, Raju, can you read this? Can you read the second question? Raju or Rajesh, whoever it is. Or anybody for that matter, not only Raju.
Yes, sir. The length of a rectangle increases by 12% and breadth increased by 10%. What is the increase in area?
Yes. Can you do that? I've already done there, but just see whether you are getting that answer. I'll just join you in half a minute. You just do that. Yeah. So what is the answer? Are you getting? So length is 100. Sorry, length is increases by 12%. Breadth increases by 10%. I have just taken some random value. Length equal to 100. Breadth is 20. So the area of rectangle is L into B. That is 100 into 20. That is 2000. Now the length increases by 12% means what? From 100 it has gone to 112. And breadth increases from by 10% means from 20 it has gone to 22%. 10% increase means 22. So the new area is equal to 112 into 22, that is 2464. Now what is the percentage increase? New minus old divided by old into 100. How much it comes? 464 divided by 2000 into 100, that comes to 23.2%. Are you getting it, Raju or Rajesh? Over it is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, you are getting it. Okay, very good. Now I am going to close this PPT for some time because without PPT we are going to discuss something else. Yeah, I will stop this PPT. Okay, now we are into percentages. I said this is a very important chapter where 2 or 3 or 4 questions out. If there are 100 questions in an aptitude test, I'm sure some 3 or 4 questions will be there in percentages. Let's go look at something, very simple things. Suppose you go and buy a shirt from a shop. The shopkeeper says it is 1000 rupees. And shopkeeper has bought it from the wholesaler or from the manufacturer for 800 rupees. So what is the profit that shopkeeper makes? He bought it for 800 and sold it for 1000. So what is the profit he makes?
150.
200, isn't it?
Sir, 850 no, sir.
No. He bought it for 800,
800,
sold it for
okay, sir.
1000.
200, sir.
200. What is the percentage profit he made?
20%, sir.
20. How did he get it?
Sir, old minus new divided by.
One minute. The election times, a lot of noise in the street. So I have to close all the doors and windows. Election people are keep shouting with loudspeakers. Okay, so the cost price, that 800 rupees is called cost price and 1000 rupees is called selling price. Selling price minus cost price gives profit, that is 200 rupees. When I asked what is the percentage profit, you said, how much you said? What is the percentage?
20%.
25%. 25% or 20%?
20, sir. 20%.
How did you get 20%? See, I
Sir,
said new percentage profit which you have studied in your school, selling price minus cost price divided by
Minus
cost price into
divided by
100.
Cost price into 100.
How much it comes?
Sir, yes, sir. 20. Wait, sir. 1 second.
Selling price minus cost price divided by cost price into 100.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
else?
20.
Not necessarily Raju.
20 only, sir.
No. Calculate it properly, sir. What about others?
Sir,
How much you are getting? See, profit, selling price minus cost price is profit, that is equal to 200 divided
200.
by cost price. Divided by cost price is how much? 800. 200 by 800 into
Yeah.
100 is how much?
25, sir. Yes, sir.
25%. My God. So you have to be careful. SP
Okay,
minus
sorry.
CP. No. Wow. Okay, no problem. We can make as many mistakes as possible in our classes. Nothing wrong in it. SP minus CP divided by CP into 100 is called profit. Okay. Suppose he bought it for 800 and sold it for 600. What was the loss he makes? He bought it for 800 and sold for 600.
200, sir.
200 is, what is the percentage loss? Then again it is SP minus CP divided by CP into 100. That is 200 divided by 800 to 100, that is 25%. The loss is also 25% here. Okay. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this much you should know. Then we go into a shop where there is a big board said discount 25% there. So we go into the shop, we find a sari where there is a tag or a sticker is there which says 5,000 rupees. But you get a discount of 25%. So how much you pay to the shopkeeper? The tag price says 5,000 rupees and discount the board says 25%. So how much you have to pay to the shopkeeper?
3,750, sir.
3,750. That is called the selling price. And the tag, the whatever price they have mentioned in the sticker, it is called. There are many names are there. One of the technical name is marked price, or tag price, or list price, or sticker price, or many such terms are there. Okay, tag price, list price, marked price, sticker price, everything is there. And from that you apply the discount, and whatever you get, that is a discount. And if you minus the discount, you will get that how much you said, 3,750 is the selling price of that particular product. If the shopkeeper bought that product for 3,000 rupees, so what is the profit he makes? He bought it for 3,000 and he sold it to you at 3,750. So what is the profit he makes? 750 rupees.
Sir.
750 rupees. So what is the percentage profit?
Oh.
750 divided by the cost price, that is 3,000 into 100. So how much it
25.
costs?
Sir?
750 is the profit divided by 3,000, that is the cost price, into 100. 25%. Okay. So this is how, sometimes they give the marked price or listed price, or you can switch off your mic now. So anything they may give, and they will ask you to find what the selling price, and they give cost price and ask you to find what is the profit. So these are some of the problems which you must have, a practical thing which you come across on a day-to-day basis in your your day-to-day life also. Okay, right? Let's say your mother goes to a market to buy some vegetables, and the vegetable vendor, normally a lady or a gent who is not so educated, and your mother bought brinjal 350 grams, and the 1 kilo of brinjal he says 40 rupees. So how much your mother has to give? 40 rupees is 1 kilo. For 350 grams, how much you should give? Why other people are not able to answer, or are they are
14, sir.
14 rupees? How did you calculate, Raju?
Yes. Sir, actually, 1 kg converted into grams, sir, the 1,000 grams.
Okay.
350 grams, she bought 350 grams. 350 grams, 1,000 grams equal to 40 rupees. Then 350 grams equal to how much, sir?
So you
So
can,
we
that
will
is
divide
40 divided by 1,000 into 350 you have
into
put.
350. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But is that shopkeeper, that lady, does she calculate like you?
No, sir.
How does she calculate? Any idea how she calculates? What about others? You would have gone to market by yourself or with you along with your mother. So how does she calculate? The shopkeeper who is not so educated like you. Yeah, carry on.
First she divided into
No, you said she won't calculate like you. That you said. Okay, I agree with you. How did she calculate?
Sir, first she divided the 40 divided by 2, sir. That is 500 grams equal to 20 rupees, like that, sir. Half
Correct,
of.
correct. Then
Then he added the extra. Then in that 500, they deducted 250, like that, sir. Half of, in my point of.
yeah, half of that will be 250 gram. So that comes to how much? 10 rupees. Okay.
10 rupees. And then extra he bought 100 grams, sir.
Yeah.
So 250 grams equal to 10 rupees means in that
No. 1 kilo means 40 rupees means 100 gram is how much? 1 kilo is 40 rupees means 100 gram is how much? 4 rupees.
what,
So you add that 4 with the 10. So you will get
10.
14.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, sir.
that vegetable vendor will calculate in this fashion. She will split that kilos into quarter kilo like that, and then she will add. This is the way. And your mother will buy 3 or 4 vegetables, 3 or 4 different measurements, weights, and 3 or 4 different prices. But that lady will not touch a pen or pencil. She'll calculate in her mind and then ask your mother, Amma, 42 ரூபா 50 பைசா கொடுங்கம்மா. She will say, and your mother also will give, and that will be accurate also. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is the kind of capability you should have if you want to win over this aptitude exam. Not your scientific capability, what you have learnt in your school. So you should develop this capability of calculating the prices based on half kilo, quarter kilo, and half of that 100 gram, 500 gram, etc. Okay, let us take one more question on this. Maybe somebody else can answer other than Raju. I welcome all of you to open your mic and then answer. Don't keep quiet. Suppose you are very comfortable with the chapter, you tell me, I will skip the chapter and go to the new chapter. Sir, இதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியும் சார். Why are you wasting your time? அப்படின்னா I will go to the new chapter. Okay, you go to the market vegetable vendor again. The potato is 60 rupees per kilo. So what is the total? And your mother buys 650 gram. How much she has to pay? 1 kilo 60 rupees. And she buys 650 grams. So somebody else other than Raju, can you open your mic and calculate? Even if it's wrong, it's okay, no problem. Don't worry about making mistakes. When you don't attempt, that is the biggest mistake. When you attempt make mistake, that is not a mistake. Whether it is exam or life, this is very simple formula you should learn. So you attempt, even if you go wrong, it's okay, no problem. And this is a place to learn. Classroom is a place where we will make mistake and we learn, isn't it? So here the potato price is 60 rupees and your mother bought 650 gram. How much it cost? How much she has to give to the vendor? Yes, Manoj, can you try?
Sir, 39, sir.
39. How did you get it? Let us see. 60 rupees, half kilo becomes 30 rupees. And 150 grams, 100 grams comes to 6 rupees. And 50 grams comes to 3 rupees. Very good. 39 is correct. Manoj has got it correctly. Okay, this is the kind of capability you need when you want to address any of these aptitude questions as far as percentage is concerned. Now, one more last question on percentages we will take, and then we will go on to a small break. Okay, your mother goes to a shop. The marked price they have given as 10,000 rupees on sari. Any one of the girls have to answer this because this is about silk saris. Silk saris, girls are very fond of silk saris, whatever be their age, right? The sticker price is 10,000 rupees. In the front of the shop, they have given discount of 30%. So how much your mother has to pay? Any one of the girls. The marked price or the sticker price is 10,000. In the front of the shop, they have given discount of 30%. So how much your mother has to pay? Any girls? Or should I call anybody? Dr. Priya, maybe she's a teacher. Aarti? Aarti madam, are you there? Try this. Or Anu?
7,000, sir.
Yeah, 7,000. Who said 7,000? Anu. Okay, 7,000 she has to pay. But Anu's mother, what is her name? Anu's mother's name? Hello, Anu? Are you able to hear me? Okay, whatever be the name. Anu's mother is very clever. She does not want to pay 7,000. She goes to the cash counter, that Galla, we call in Tamil Nadu Galla, that is the cash counter, and then she argues with that person, saying that I need another 10% discount. So from 10,000 it has come to 7,000, I need 10% discount. That person also knows Anu's mother for ages because she has been coming there for year after year. So he gives another 10%. You reduces from the 7,000, on a 10% he reduces, that is how much he will reduce? 700 he reduces, and then he collects 6,300 rupees. How much Anu's mother gives? 6,300 rupees she gives and collects the sari. Anu's mother, let us say she is not well educated but then very clever. They are two different things. Not educated but clever. That is two different things. She goes to the home and shows the sari to the neighbors. That is the usual custom in Tamil Nadu. When you go and buy a costly sari, we go and show it to the neighbors. That's a friendly showing that neighbors. She said that shop, whatever name of the shop, she will say, normally gives 30%. For me, he gave 40% discount. Because I argued and got 10% more. So, but did Anu's mother really got 40%? Anu, did your mother really got 40%?
No.
How much she got? You said she did not get 40%, but how much she got? 10,000 rupees sari, finally she paid 6,300 rupees. What is the discount she got? Anybody else also, not only Anu's mother, so not only Anu. The tag price was 10,000. Now mother gave 6,300. How much discount she got?
Sir, 3,700, sir.
Yeah, 3,700. What is the percentage?
37%.
37%. 37. Mr. Raju, you sit in a calm place while coming for any of these classes. You should not sit in a very noisy place. That's very important. Okay, a transient noise I can understand, but then normally you have to choose a place where it is very calm. Okay, so
Okay.
from 10,000, she gave 6,300, she got 37%. But she perceives or she really thinks that she got 40%. So this is one thing. One side, this is actually marketing gimmick played by all the people. That is one. But let's look at the mathematics out of it. So successive discounts will not be equal to the addition of the two discounts. It will be less than that. Successive discounts, the first discount is 30%, second discount is 10%. So the total discount she got is not 30 plus 10, 40. It is the 37%. So in the exam, they may give you a situation like this and they will ask you to find what is the successive discount. Understood? Anu, will you go and tell this to your mother? Tell this to your mother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that you may think you got 40, but then we really got only 37. Like this, no, shopkeepers play with us. That is the marketing gimmick they do. And in mathematics, we call this as successive discounts. Okay, that is another thing. So one last question, then we'll go for a break. This is called horse problem. Listen to this. It is there in my slide. I don't want to show the slide. It's all same. We can even talk like this. For this, I will take Raju as our person who can answer this. I take the liberty of inviting Raju for answering this. Raju, you have got 2 horses. Horse, Kudurai.
Yes. Yes.
And 1 horse you sold for a
Yes, sir.
profit of 20%. For a profit of 20%, and you sold it for 20,000 rupees and you made a profit of 20%. Another horse, you sold it for 20,000 and you made a loss of 20%. What is your net profit or loss?
Sir, can you repeat the question, sir?
You have got 2 horses in your home, in your garden or in your farm, and in 1 horse you sold for 20,000 rupees and you made a profit of 20%. Another horse also you
Yes,
sold
sir.
for 20,000 rupees and you made a loss of 20%. Maybe because your cost price of both the horses may be different. That is the reason. What is the net profit or loss you make?
Oh.
In one you make a profit of 20%, in another you make a loss of 20%. Anybody else? When I ask Raju, not necessarily Raju, anybody else can answer this. 76% are there in the class, but then only 1 or 2 are opening their mouth.
4,000, sir.
They're trying at least. Naveen, yes, you can mention.
4,000, sir.
What is 2,000? Profit or
4,000,
loss?
sir.
No, profit or loss? See, let me repeat the question. I think you people have not understood the question. Naveen has got 2 horses in his farm. 1 horse is sold for 20,000 rupees and he made a profit of 20%. Another horse also he sold for 20,000 rupees. He made a loss of 20%. How much is the net profit or loss? Hello? Good morning. Illama, madam. In one he made a profit of 20%, another he made a loss of 20%. Both he sold, the selling price of both is 20,000 rupees. What is the net profit or loss he made? You guess.
Sir, I think net loss is 32,000, sir.
Net loss is 32,000.
Yeah, sir. You made loss of, I think, 32,000 is the answer, sir.
No, 32,000 is not the answer. But how did he get 32,000? I just wanted to find out.
Sir, for 20,000, you made 20% profit, which is 20% is 4,000, sir. As the same, he made.
That itself is wrong. Anyway, never mind. We will take that as correct. That itself is wrong. Okay, because when we say profit, if somebody said I make a profit, it means profit on cost price, not on selling price. ஒருத்தர் போய் ஒரு உங்கள் அப்பாட்ட பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறாருட்டு போய் கேட்குறீங்க, அப்பா என்னப்பா ப்ராஃபிட் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு கேட்குறீங்க. 10%ரா அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? 10% ஆன் த காஸ்ட் ப்ரைஸ். வாட் எவர் காஸ்ட் ஐ இன்கர் in the form of labor, in the form of electricity, in the form of raw materials, எல்லாத்தையும் சேர்த்து அது ஒரு 10% ப்ராஃபிட் வச்சு நான் விற்கிறேன். ஸோ வாட் எவர் he says, I make 10% profit means I make 10% on my cost price. But here I have given only the selling price, but I have given the profit or loss percentage. So you cannot calculate as 4,000. அது ராங், பரவாயில்ல, அது இருக்கட்டும், அது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்கட்டும். நவ் யூ கம் டு யுவர் இது, அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணுங்க? யா, டெல் மீ. Assuming that he made a profit of 4,000, then you go to the next step. What all you wanted to say, tell me. Find out what exactly you are understanding, or so that I can clarify to everybody. That was the thing. Any other answer? 74 students. We have got only one answer. Why don't you try? Nothing wrong in, you can go wrong also. Like the Naveen was telling something, I said it is not the correct. No problem. This is the way we learn. Raju, you try? Raju or Rajesh, I think 2-3 people used to answer. But உங்களுக்கு மனசுல என்ன தோணுது? Common sense says what? மனசுல என்ன தோணுது?
Sir, one horse he makes 20% profit, other horse he makes 20% loss, no sir?
Okay.
I think it will net off, sir. Because both are calculated from the...
இதுதான் மனசுல தோணுது. Yes, Shabaris, hats off to you. இதுதான் எல்லார் மனசுல தோன்றது. No loss, no profit. It does not make profit, does not make loss. But in the answer is wrong. அது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்கட்டும். Answer wrong என்றது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்கட்டும். But on the answer, at least whatever comes to our mind as a human being, having educated up to the graduate level, it gives us some kind of a strength or some kind of a knowledge which makes us to tell he neither made loss nor profit, isn't it? So அதான் சபரி சொல்லியிருக்காரு. இதுதான் யூஸ்வல் சென்டிமெண்ட்ஸ், யூஸ்வல் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங். பட் அது கரெக்ட் இல்லை. அது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்கட்டும், கரெக்ட் இல்லை. பட் அது வேற கரெக்ட் எதாக இருக்க முடியும்? வாட் இஸ் த கரெக்ட் ஆன்சராக இருக்க முடியும்? இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டினே பார்த்தது இல்லையா நீங்கள்? உங்கள் MBA என்ட்ரன்ஸோ ஆர் எனி ஆஃப் தோஸ் whatever, you have not seen such questions? Okay, I will repeat. He will make a loss. He will make a loss. A loss is equal to 4%. எப்படி 4%ன்னா எவ்வளோ ரூபா வரும்னா அப்ராக்சிமேட்லி சொல்கிறேன். 20,000க்கு 4% போட்டால் 8,000 ரூபா, அரவுண்ட் 8,000. அதை விட கொஞ்சம் குறைவாக வரும், ஒரு 8,000 பக்கம் வரும். ஸோ வில் மேக் எ லாஸ் ஆஃப் 4%. இது ஒரு ஷார்ட்கட் என்னென்னா, வாட் எவர் பர்சன்டேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ், ஐ மீன் நார்மலி இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து வாட் எவர் பர்சன்டேஜ் he மேக்ஸ் இன் ஒன் ஹார்ஸ், த சேம் பர்சன்டேஜ் he மேக்ஸ் இந்த அதர் ஹார்ஸ்ன்னு தான் கொடுப்பாங்க. அப்படி இருந்தால் தான் இந்த நான் சொல்கிற இந்த லாஜிக் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகும். 20% ப்ராஃபிட் இன் ஒன், 20% லாஸ் இன் ஒன். You multiply 20 by 20, that is 400, divided by 100, that is equal to 4. That 4%, always it is a loss. இந்த மாதிரி இதில் எப்பவுமே லாஸ் தான். How much is the percentage loss? Is a 4% loss, right? இது ஒரு பெரிய calculation இருக்குது, அதில் என்னுடைய அந்த PPTயில் இருக்குது. That I am going to send you by to your madam. She will send it to you. அதை நம்ம let us not waste our time. But whenever some question comes like this, suppose I ask one question to Raju. Raju, you had 2 goat. Each goat is sold at 10,000 rupees. In one you made a profit of 15%. In another you made a loss of 15%. What is your net profit or loss? In one you made a profit of 15%, another you made a profit of 10%, 15%. One in made a profit of 15%, another made a loss of 15%. So you have to multiply that 15 into 15, that is 225. You divide that by 100, 2.25% is the loss. இது அப்படியே பிளைண்டாக நீங்கள் எடுத்துங்க. இப்போ as of now, like when your LKG teacher taught you 1 plus 1 equal to 2, you did not ask why. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ when I teach you this, you take it just for granted. You will understand why it is so in the course of our discussions, right? We'll go for a break. We'll come back after 10 or 10 minutes, and then again we'll start off our discussions. Okay? I will, Sweta madam is there. Sweta madam, I am going to close it. Again I will join. That time you have to give me an admit. Is it okay for you, Sweta? Sweta is not there. I was told to talk to Sweta in the absence of Madam Rajshri.
Yes, sir.
You are there? So Sweta, I am going to close it now. Again I will join. That time you give me an admit. Okay?
Yeah, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, we will now, in my watch it is 10:32. We will assemble by 10:40 or 10:42 or like that. Okay? Thank you.